Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our 5th installment of our Have You Heard edition of our podcast. I'd like to introduce my co-hosts before I introduce our guests. To my left, we got Briscoe in the building. To my right, we got Mr. Big Fish. And to my immediate left, we have Gio. He's a model, local to the Valley. Actually, haven't come across a lot of models in the Valley, so it's pretty good that we get have a nice sit down with somebody who's in the industry, ask some questions, see what's about. We appreciate you hitting me up, man.
Of course. Thank
you so much. So we might as well just tell the people who you are, how long you've been in the Valley, anything about you personally, and then we could get to it.
My name is GIOVANNI, but we can stick with Gio. My Instagram is official page .g. So I'm a model. I would say I started in production though, and the behind the scenes. So it was more I started with a bunch of YouTubers where it was I was just watching them work. So I was watching them work, and I'm like, I get paid for this. I get paid to do what you like. Because for me, it was coming from New York. It's kind of you see it, but it's it's not reachable. You know what I mean? Because it's oversaturated in New York. Everybody's an artist. Everybody's a model. Everybody's something. So it's when you got out here, it was to see someone else doing it. It was kind of all right.
Right. Got you.
So I was watching. Then she was oh, you want to work with me? I was work with you? Of course. That's how
when you say she, who's she?
Oh, Gabby. All right. So the YouTubers I was working with was Nikki and Gabby. I don't know if you guys know them from the ABE. Okay. They're pretty local. Twin YouTubers. Yeah. They got a major platform. But yeah. So she was you want to work with me? So I'm all right, work with you on what? And it was kind of production wise. So I'm I've never done this. I've never done anything production related. So it was kind of all right, we can do this. Gotcha. And I was helping her with it was generic in the beginning. It was yo, go get my coffee. Right. Go get this. You know what I mean? It was but doing that, I was able to see her work, and I was able to see what she was doing. So I was just picking up, because I'm a visual learner. Mm-hmm. You could tell me a bunch of things, but to see it, it's I'm picking it up. So I kind of after that, I was all right, so I could do this. I could do this.
And how long ago was it that you started working with them?
I worked with them, I would say 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh, okay, nice.
And I've been working with them for ever since.
Were you already in the modeling lane? Or?
Oh no, not at all.
Okay.
I've always been around people that done things entertainment wise, but I've never been directly in there.
Okay.
So with them, it was kind of I had I was building a name through them.
Gotcha.
So I kind of try to branch off. it took me a minute, because they're Gio who? And then when you see a model, you think just cool.
Yeah.
It's it's cool. So it's for me, it was kind of damn, model what? I could be an influencer, because it's different things. It's a model, and it's an influencer, then it's a brand ambassador. So it's different things, but they just assume it's all one. It's all
one. Yeah. So you
just look good on Instagram.
You do all those, you a brand ambassador, influencer, all that.
So
plus the model,
I
the
started
models.
with brand, I did Fashion Nova when it was first coming out.
Yeah.
I did a campaign with Fashion Nova. I did New Balance, but it was all unpaid. So for me, as a beginner, it's yo,
how it is.
I'm out there. I've been here. Yeah. But for people that are already established, they're you will never work with that brand again paid. So it's kind of you did it already for free. So it's you're going to do it again. If not, we're going to work with somebody else. You know what I mean? So it was I kind of burnt those bridges before I was able to cross them when I was bigger. But lesson learned, right?
Yep.
Gotcha.
So how do you get to a point where you get paid? Is just the popularity? Is just your connections throughout?
Yeah. So it's definitely connections. I feel it's they say it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah.
It's definitely who you know sometimes in certain things. So for Fashion Nova, I had 5,000 followers.
Okay.
And not working with nobody like me.
Right.
But I knew Gabby. She had the direct contact to whomever that lady was. So I DM'd her hey, it was just ball smoke and mirrors. Hey, she sent me. She told me that mind you, nobody sent me. Nobody said anything. I was hey, yeah, she sent me. She told me to, message you because you got a button. She's oh, okay. We'll send you a influencer packet. It's a couple shirts. I'm cool.
Yeah.
I'll post it. I'm an influencer.
Got you. Now, with you having done Fashion Nova and all that, how did you come about getting into Fashion Nova, working with them early on? How'd you get into that?
Well, yeah, I was what I was saying. Gabby was working with them, and I was kind of how you did that?
Yeah.
And she's oh, because at that time I was working with her emails, so I was handling emails.
So you don't? What I'm asking, you don't have an agency that reaches out to?
No. Now you if I was to do that, yeah. Now I have an agency who reaches out directly, or they reach out to the agency directly, or they'll reach out via Instagram because the platforms now they just come straight to the platform. It's hey, we'll pay you $3,000 to post this, and it's cool. But and then you got to think about it too. sometimes you work with a brand that's like rivals with a brand that you desperately want to work with. So it's like if you work with Adidas, you can get that $20,000, but Nike got a commercial for you, royalties, and you know what I mean. So it's like you got to kind of like pick your battles. It's like which one you trying to go with?
Yeah.
Adidas come to me, listen.
So do you get to like a certain point and you have like these modeling agency like reaching out to you? Like it's like kind of like a bidding war? Like almost? So
like I feel like this year, like before, again, it was like it's oversaturated.
Yeah.
It don't seem oversaturated like the modeling industry, but it's a million people that are influencers. Influencers get gigs because they look good. They so I feel like now it's like they reach out only because of Fashion Week. Like you do things where they see you.
Yeah.
But if I was just doing a bunch of influencer work, 9 times out of 10 it's kind of like, hey, let's send you a watch, post it on Instagram. But now that you're at Fashion Week and you're walking carpets and you're like gracing stages with people that are major, like big, like Lola Brooks and things like that, it's kind of like, oh, how did you get there?
Right. Yeah.
Let's see it, because most agencies don't want to work with somebody that they got to build. They want to work with somebody who's already built that they could build off of.
Yeah.
Because like they got to make money.
Yeah.
So it's like.
Got you. So you spoke on Fashion Week. How's that experience for anybody who's never been to Fashion Week? How's that?
That
experience?
is probably I mean, listen,
it's chaotic, isn't it?
It depends on. Well, like as a model, it's crazy. Like it is probably I don't want to say the worst. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but it's probably like the worst couple hours because you're on set from 10 o'clock. The show don't start till 7. Okay. So you're on set from 10 to 7 doing a bunch of nothing.
Yeah.
Hair, makeup, like you're ready. And you're just sitting there. So you're just sitting there. And then you get on stage, like you walk the runway for 3 seconds, 3 minutes at most. So you did all those hours for 3 minutes for that one photo, for that moment. Then it's like, damn, I did it.
Have you ever experienced it? Not as a model, like
this was my first year. Like actually getting invited to like Fashion Week events. It's the best. Like to get to see everybody in their element, to see like a bunch of different like big names. I don't want to say celebrities because I mean everybody's a celebrity in their own way, but like to see different like tiers of like talents, like wow. Like to be in Rose, it's like wow. Like I'm elbow to elbow with you. It's like it's kind of cool. You know what I mean?
Well, so like in that type of experience, like from the outside looking in, is so different. But like once you're actually there, like what was something like new that like you didn't know about until you actually got to that show?
I think like how the production is, like how it looks. Like because when you're walking, you're kind of just focused on that camera.
Yeah.
So like you're not looking this way, that way. It's kind of like whatever's going on is going on.
Yeah.
But like when you get to sit there, it's like wow, like it's a nice setup. Like this looks nice. Like these models got like it's nice. Like everybody's in sync. Like things like continuity purposes for like I feel like certain things look good. But when you as a model, you're only focused on getting out because you're nervous. So it's like just get me out, go get your model bag and go home. When you get to see it, it's kind of like, oh wow, they put a lot into this. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot that goes into it. Yeah. But again, you're only there for 3 minutes, so it's like it's cool.
So did you have like I know sometimes when I watch that the Fashion Week people walking.
Yeah.
Did you put your own flair on? When you walk, or you just like the generic.
I was kind of like that generic. Like when you first come out, they tell you do the poses, but then as you get higher in like your career or like higher in I guess the industry, they tell you like certain things don't fly. Right. Like don't smile. Don't smile. All this like cool poses, cut it out. It's kind of like walk, sit there for 3 to 5 seconds, and come back. When you're in the beginning, it's like. You all in the camera like, oh, get this angle. It's kind of like, yo, just do it.
So if we see people like that, those are amateurs.
Yeah, majority of the people that are doing like all this and all the hand motions is like if you watch the Bella Hadids, the Altons, like the big names, it's straight focus and the eye contact is important because it's like once you lose that 3 to 5 seconds, you got 3 to 5 seconds as a model. Once you get to the end, you hit that tape 3 to 5 seconds. So you click, you blink, that's it. So. Keep your eyes open for 5 seconds. So all that hand motion they try to tell you like it don't work because while you're moving your hand, they're already clicking.
Mm-hmm.
So what you thought you was about to do is not going to look how it's not going to be executed.
Oh, so when you're talking about icon, you're talking about what? There's a camera back there.
Yeah, like there's a camera. Like there's cameras, but they tell you there's one focal camera. Like there's like let's say it was like a newscast. Like this is the news camera. That's just
the one you got to look at.
Yeah, this is like it. So just. Pay attention there.
Got you. So can you give the people a look real quick?
like the look. It's kind of like a. It's like don't smile, just. They tell you it's like you only control like 3 to 5 of your muscles. So it's like figure out your eyebrow, your mouth, your nose. Figure it out before you get there.
Yeah. So, how many times have you modeled for Fashion Week?
For Fashion Week, this is my third year.
Third year, okay. And what brands have you worked with?
So I've worked for Elie Balleh. I don't know how to pronounce it. He's like from Paris. He's in Nordstrom. He's in Saks, Bloomingdale's. He's in all like the major retailers, like more like the higher end
Fashion.
I worked for Justin H. He's a part of the CFDA, like the Fashion Council. Like that's like he's like in the council. Yeah. So like all his shows are pretty much like council based. So we do like charity events. We did like breast cancer awareness. We do like cancer, things like that. So his is more like charitable based, but it's like it's major.
Yeah, no, that's dope though.
Yeah, and then the other ones, like when I first was starting, it was like local brands. Like a bunch of people like, hey, you want to work? And again, in the beginning, it's like, you said Fashion Week? It's like, hold on, I'm famous. But then you start to realize it's like, wow, like you got to work. Like there's work.
So this being like your third year, I mean, obviously the first year you probably got a lot of nerves into it, but like being 3 years into it, do you feel like a vet? Like do you still?
Oh
get
no,
those,
I'm still nervous.
Do you still get those nerves?
It's still.
Yeah.
It's because you like you don't get like you get to like they dress you before, like you get a what do you call it, like a fitting before.
Yeah.
But then when you get there, 9 times out of 10, you're not in what you was fitted for.
Gotcha.
So it's like you mentally prepared for this one outfit. Like you're like, yo, I'm a dance. And you get there and it's like, well, this model never shows, so let's see if we can put this on. And then being my height too, so I feel like that plays like a. Because if you look at all the major runway models, they're like 6 feet.
Gotcha.
So unless you're like single-handedly picked by a designer, there's no way you're gracing the Fashion Week stage.
Gotcha.
Like unless the designer's like, hey, you, come walk for me. It's like, all right, that's the only exception. But other than that, New York Fashion Week's not going to be like, well, you look good, so let's bring you out. Because they got a bunch of people that look good that are 6 feet. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like. You got it's the competition is crazy.
Do they like a lot of people that walk for Fashion Week, do they reach out to different agencies, like the companies that pick, or do they like, let's say, you know, hold like auditions?
Yeah, both.
They do both.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
so like a major, let's say like a Mugler, they're straight agency. It'll be straight agency based. It's Mugler. It's like, we seen you, we know what you look like, we want to look at your comp card. Something more local, but it's still major, they'll do like agency / street casting. They'll like go out and be like, hey, like we're holding a casting event. And you'll have people that come from the woodworks and just come in and those be the ones that get it. Yeah. Because you see the determination, you see the dedication. Then you got people like me that'll come there. It's like, I walked 3 different stages. You get there and it's like, bro, you're not, it's not it. It's just the mentality. I feel like it's like, because you can sense it. Like when you come there, they already know who they want. As a judge, you know who you want. Like you, I mean, you could put on the show, but it's like, we know who we want. So it's like you come there, you know, thinking that you walk 25 stages, you're gonna get picked.
Gotcha.
It don't work like that.
But like from there, like from those shows, you could like continue to make connections, right? Because you could run that, you could walk that runway, and somebody from the crowd could notice you, right? And like, be like, oh, like Gio did a great job. Like
that's what, like for Fashion Week for me now, like again with my height, like I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't take it as serious, but I don't take it as serious because I know like to get into like Paris Fashion Week, I would never unless I'm going to get surgery and I'm gonna go raise a couple. You know what I'm saying?
Are you talking about the ankles, like, that leg extension surgery?
So I feel like for me, like commercial, to do more commercial, I have to do more Fashion Weeks because like you see the people in there that want commercial work. You know what I mean? Like Runway 7 had like Angela Simmons and like Dapper Dan and all of them in the crowd.
Okay.
9 times out of 10 they watched the show because they was just watching the show.
Yeah.
The models, the clothes, none of that intrigued them. But when you leave the show, it's like, hey, Angela Simmons, you got a brand. Gotcha. That's work. You know what I mean? It's like kind of like, for me, it's kind of like networking. It's easier to network at a fashion event as a model than trying to come to an event as a model, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I'm modeling an event, you see me on the stage, so now it's like, you know I do something, so let's talk.
Yeah.
As opposed to me coming in, it's like, what do you do? And it's like, oh, I do this. Let me see your Instagram. And by the time you get your Instagram out, it's like, oh, the car's here. You know what I mean? So it's like.
So who's the biggest person that you actually like had a conversation with, like to you?
I would say, I mean, damn. And like.
Maybe somebody like you looked up to in the industry or something like that.
Oh, I would definitely say it was I wouldn't say I looked up to, but Papoose. Like my first ever, like I got to, Remy Ma was just coming home. I did like a showcase. It was like an urban showcase in New York City. It was just like a random brand. He had a bunch of sweaters. It was like, hey, walk the stage while Remy Ma's rapping. That's when she first came out with that all the way up. I was like, listen, I walked the stage with Remy Ma. I can't tell you that. She just came home. I heard the song first. Like, that's it.
So, I got for that, I want to know what did they have you doing on the stage though? Like,
so we legit just was walking. Like we walked front to back. The stage was like no bigger than this. Like where the cameras to here, it was like front, back. You go in the back, you got to sit back there. Remy Ma was like back there, Papoose. So I was like, hey,
oh yeah,
how you doing?
That's dope. So I want to circle back to the local stuff. Like, so do you do a lot of local events, like local modeling for anybody?
Like out here?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I do Desire Attire.
Shout out to Desire.
Worked with Desire Attire. Yeah. Casey, she's the gem, bro. I don't think I've ever worked with anybody else. I mean, like this is handmade by my boy Ramos. I Vibe Worldwide.
Okay.
He customized another piece that I had on. I don't know if you guys seen it on Instagram. It was like that black piece for Fashion Week. Yeah. He's like upcoming, but like other brands, nah.
And then do you like, let's say, well, not local, but like when you do smaller shows, you talked about how you know, like when you do bigger shows, you can't do like the
sir.
So do you have to like tone yourself down, like when you do, let's say, like, you know, smaller shows? Do you then go into the
it's crazy you say that because like smaller shows I feel more comfortable. Like I'm like, because you could just be yourself. Because it's like they want the clothes to show, but they want you to show. Because it's like as an upcoming artist, model, as an upcoming like fashion designer, they want everybody to shine. So it's kind of like, you know, just do your thing. So you know, you get there and it's like you get the 3 to 7 poses. Where it's like you do an Elie show like I just did with the Tux, and it's kind of like he's in the back. You hear him yelling. Like you get out there, all you hear is 3 to 5 seconds. Like don't do nothing else. Like, he's like, they call them jail poses. They're like, we don't want to see none of the jail poses, none of that. So we're like, like they in the back like cursing you out, and then it's like, you know, it's like, all right, you know, you get the shot, but when the shot comes out, it's like, damn, I see what they mean, but it's like in the moment, it's like you already look nervous, so it's like you just. Then you get the
so where do you like? I mean, obviously, you know, Desire Attire is one of the places that you do locally, but I mean, where do you usually travel to get most of your work?
New York, yeah. Every week I'm in New York.
Every week,
like next week I'll be in New York. I have like a magazine shoot the following week. Like it's just because you got to stay busy. Because again, New York is oversaturated. Out here is not. So it's like to stay busy and come back here is kind of like you get to like. I guess reap what you sow. It's like you get to like, you know, enjoy it. You go to New York and do a million shows, you go hit your boy up. It's kind of like, word, bro, I just was with Remy Ma. It's like, cool. You go to this one, it's like, yo, yeah, I just did a music video with Lola Brooks. It's like, bro, just enjoy my moment. Like, let's just enjoy this moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So like with that being said, have you ever do you think that eventually you have to move to a big city?
Yeah,
or you just gonna with social media you're just gonna stay, you know, local?
Nah, there is no way. There's no way with this Gen Z. They make a TikTok today, they famous. Yeah, I've been working on this for like 3 years.
That one video, right?
Wait, so if that's the case, why can't you stay in a smaller city and then still like, you know, show online?
I feel like online blow you up. More people like you guys, like creatively, where it's like we could keep networking. Yeah, but to not network and try to build a net worth is hard. You know what I mean?
Facts. Yeah.
So I feel like out here it's cool. Like it's cool to, you know, dress how I want to dress because I get to wake up and go outside looking like whatever. Whereas in New York, it's like you gotta. It's like damn.
Gotta stay fly.
I get a haircut today. And I go outside. You know what I mean? It's like so it's cool to be able to live out here and then go out there and work. But it's like eventually you want to be able to just work, like, or not even work, just do what you enjoy. Like, I do this. Like, I don't consider it work. It's like, it's fun. So it's like for me, it's like you wake up, take a picture. It's like who gonna pay me?
Oh, word. Okay.
Like somebody pay.
One phrase I hear all the time is it's not I got to do this. It's like I get to do this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's like the best. I've never heard that, bro.
Say it for my gang.
I stole it, bro.
The goal is to get it's not a got to job, it's a get to job.
Yeah.
So they just get up and you get to do it.
Yeah, like
first time I ever heard you say that, bro.
That shit was. I was like one of those moments where it's like. You just look at the camera. It's like you heard what you said, right?
Yeah. Somebody jot that down, yo.
Wait.
Should have brought that for a quarter bowl.
So what's your craziest like shoot like story like experience? Like
I think my craziest one,
like you can think of like top of head, like you know,
was like when I was in the beach, Coney Island. You guys know Coney Island, right?
Yeah.
I think it was like spring. and I was just shooting with boxers on, bro. It was cold. There was people watching. I've never done it in my life. It was kind of like
we talking beginning of spring, like we
yeah,
still,
it was like borderline. Yeah. It was like cold hot. It was like, you know, it was like cold enough to go outside.
That was for a boxer's brand.
Yeah. So I did like Supreme Comfort, and I was like, you know, all right. They said think outside the box. I was like, this is outside the box.
Did they let you frolic on the beach?
Nah. As soon as I took it off, I was like, I looked at the camera. I'm like, that's a good shot. Let's go. People are like, what is going? I'm like, bro, the questions you got, I got.
So in that shoot specifically, were there like, is it just you and the photographer, or were there people behind the scenes?
So there is production, like it depends on the shoot, like how major the shoot is. Usually,
but that one though specifically.
Oh no, that one I was like photographer and that's
it.
Nobody else. I don't need production. I don't want you there. I don't want you. That's it.
All right, but when it comes to like regular shoots, how's
like majority of the time it's like I'll either have like my assistant, like I mean I don't want to see my assistant, but my sister, like she'll come, she drives me, like she takes me to my events. My stylist, he'll usually come just to like make sure like what I have on is good.
Yeah. Does that dude the one that in the one video on your page?
Yeah, him. Like he'll come, he'll make sure everything's good, and then just like nah. Some, you know, most of the time you listen, but sometimes it's like listen. I know style too, but like you try to like, because they know more. Like he goes to school for that, so like he knows like color patterns and what's in. Me, it's just kind of like I look good, I'm gonna put it on. You know what I mean?
So do you not know what you're going to be putting on until like the day of?
Like for the photo shoot?
Yeah, for like the shoots, yeah.
It depends. Like if I plan to shoot, like obviously I would know more or less. Like, but not half the time. It's like, listen, we got a couple shirts, we got a couple pairs of pants.
That's it.
It's like, cool. Bring white Fazos or bring this color sneakers. So you get there with your mindset, like, you know, it's going to be natural. Now they got you in a whole bikini with a pair of Fazos, and it's like, you know, this is crazy. But I'm just saying, like, you know, like you try to go with one mindset and then you get there, it's like, they got you in overalls. It's like, bro, I could have brought my construction.
So he asked you about your craziest. So can you describe like your first experience?
Or like my first ever photo shoot? The crazy thing was, it was in Easton.
Okay.
Like I was with my daughter's mom at the time, and she's friends with Nikki and Gabby, so they had a photographer. Like Mike Letty, he's a beast. So I was like, hey, listen, I'm trying to do it for my first photo shoot. He's like, yeah, whatever. I had to climb up, mind you, listen, I'm afraid of heights. He's like, let's do this shoot. Like he had a vision. My first shoot, I'm like, you know, usually a photographer, when they got a vision, it's gonna be executed. So I'm climbing up these. It was the middle of the snow. I'm like, bro, listen, we're gonna shoot this and I'm out of here. But nah, the shot actually came out pretty cool. I mean, it was like my first ever one. It was after that I was like, all right, listen, you want to shoot tomorrow? He's like, no. It's like I got actual clients. Like this was free, but like I was like, damn.
Is he somebody that you continue to work with, or was
no? He's in
like
LA now.
Oh, he's in LA.
Yeah, he's doing his own thing now.
Big time.
Yeah.
Okay, got you. And do you have your own personal photographer right now?
I do. I have two. So I have one that works for New York Magazine.
Yeah.
So I kind of like shoot with him, but my planned shoots with him are usually like if I'm being styled, if it's like fashion week time. So it's like I try to keep it where it's like, you know, like if you do like something like this, like I would do a podcast, it's like I know it's gonna be released X, Y, and Z. So it's like I want to do a shoot in between there, and then something promotional. You know what I mean? So it's like you keep the people going, because 9 times out of 10 people just want to see you. Like they just want to see what you got, like what you're creating, live vicariously through you. Yep. So I know I do that. I've been watching people like post on.
And before we go any further, you want to give the people your we forgot to give them your Instagram page so they know where to follow you and find you.
Official page of .g. You got to add the dot or you're not going to find me, because I think there's like 1 million official pages. So official page of .g. Okay. I think it's on TikTok, YouTube, everything. Yeah, it's the same thing.
Same thing on everything. All right, bet. Make sure y'all follow, man. If you're a photographer, there's a lot of photographers in the Valley, so if you're a photographer out there, you know, and you need somebody to model some things for you, or if you have a brand, there's a lot of people with clothing brands.
Yeah, I know.
If you have a brand out here, you make sure you hit them up.
Then you get those that want to like reach out to you, and it's like, hey, like I got a lot of photographers out here that reach out, like, hey, let's work, and I'm like, cool. In my mind, you know, when you reach out to me, it's not free, but it's more of like a
word.
What could I do for you? It's kind of like we get to that point. It's like, like let's work, yo. You got a crazy look. Like I see you doing your thing. Thanks. It's like cool. So when you want to work, let's work next week. My rates are your rates, bro.
They reach out.
It's like hold on.
That's crazy.
So like I don't want to sound shallow, but bro.
Yeah,
you reached out to me for a reason.
Yeah,
for sure.
Evidently, it's not hitting. So them rates, you gonna have to work on them.
So, like, I know you touched a little bit, like, on the modeling agency, but like, can you go a little bit more, like, in depth, like, how that like process works as far as like booking
Like being
shows.
signed?
Yeah, like all that. Yeah,
So
all that
it's a
stuff.
little less on you, but I guess it's like a little less. So it's like working a job.
Okay.
Like you have a supervisor. Like once you sign with an agency, it's kind of like they're gonna get you the best because it's beneficial for you and them.
Okay.
Because they collect the percentage. Depending on the agency, depending on how reputable the agency is, like they'll get a percentage. So like an agency like MMG, for instance, like they'll get you a gig with Nike tomorrow, $7,000. They're getting theirs off top.
Yeah.
That's a great gig for you. That's not something you can go out and be like, hey, I'd love to work with you. Nike's like, cool, you and the rest of these people in the world. You know what I mean?
Right,
Whereas if your agency, a reputable agency reaches out, it's like, cool, we can negotiate that price. Let's do it. Let's see what he looks like. Let's do it. You know what I mean? So I feel like the agency, they want what's best for you because it's best for them.
Of course, yeah.
So it's beneficial. It's like one hand washes the other. So, I mean, it works. They're going to push you to work because they want the money.
Yeah.
So it's like, and then you have mother agencies. So it's like you sign with an agency and they're like your main agency. So they'll handle all your bookings or like your castings. Then you have like a mother agency who will handle like your fashion week events or like PR events, like publicity events, things like that. Like I was invited to like the HBO premiere for The Last of Us. That's like more of like a mother agency. It's like they just put it in a group chat. It's like, hey, who wants to go? It's like, who wants to go? Like they throw these things out there like it's minor, like to someone like me and the rest of it's like, bro, yeah, I want to go. Like, just send it to me directly next time.
So, G, are they like when they reach out, they be like, hey, I think this show will be good for you. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, they kind of try to make it word like that. Like, hey, I think you'll be but it's more like,
you do
this is where you're going.
Gotcha.
This is when it is. This is how much you're getting paid.
Because they're trying to make their money, right?
Yeah, like I mean, they they sugarcoat it. Hey, Gio, we seen that you was interested in Fashion Nova, so we got a boohoo campaign for you. They're paying $3,000. We just need you to go here. Again, when you're working, just bring it in, but you're not thinking like on the back end, like, damn, how much was really the campaign? Because Boohoo's a major brand, so they could probably offer me $10,000.
Yeah.
My agency got it first, so it's like they took the 7 off head, and it's like, here, take the 3.
Yeah.
So it's like sometimes you gotta like, but most reputable agencies are reputable agencies for reasons. You know what I mean?
Got you. And all right. So when it comes to like modeling, like what's the when you go to your shoots, what's the most exciting part for you? Like, what do you look forward to the most out of everything? Like the whole, experience of it. What's the most exciting part that you look forward to?
The aftermath, like to see what the shot actually looks like. It probably sounds like a cliche. It's like, oh, you go to a shoot and it's like you ready for the photos, but like for me, because it's like you're doing a bunch of like, can you curse?
Oh yeah, go ahead, man.
I'm like, you're doing a bunch of shit, like, you know what I mean? So it's like you never know what shot is it, and then you look at him, it's like, wow, I'm gonna do that more.
Yeah.
And wow, I'm gonna do that more because as a model, it's like you take pride. Like a lot of people think models just gotta look good. That's not, because most models, if you look at the high end models, none of them look great, but none of them are like the attractive that we would say attractive. You know what I mean? It's more like a foreign, like a high end attractive.
Right.
Those are the things they want. Different personality traits.
Yeah,
You got
I'm into that, so I don't know. About
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's more like the exotic.
Yeah,
looks.
nah.
Like that's what sells though. Like you got a gap. Oh shit! Like you're white, but you could pull off like a Spanish. That. It's like it's like the more exotic looks. It's like everybody could look like the same person. Because if you look at me, I probably look like every other influencer you've seen. Every other light skin, it's like throw them in there. We got the waves. You got the you know what I mean. But then they tell me like, yo, you could look like you Arabic. You could look black. You could look Puerto Rican. Where it's like they could pitch you in different directions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I'm like fatigue as shit. So it's like, bro, you gonna make it work somehow, bro.
Like at this point in your career, like, can you be more selective in like the jobs, or are you turning away stuff that your modeling agency is trying to like pitch you? Like,
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say more selective because I'm still like fairly like still building, but like I do turn away a lot of things, like where it's like I just had like a skincare brand. My skin is like breaking out bad because all the makeup and all the shit that they put on. So it's like I turned it away only because like you had to put the skincare on. Like they was in the contract. It's like you will not be paid unless in this ad like you are showing you. I have my own skincare routine, so it's like to do that just to sell it to fans, knowing damn well that I'm not really using it. It's kind of like I got morals in some sense because when as an influencer you push anything. That board right there, I don't know what it is, but everybody musically inclined, buy it.
Right. Yeah.
Half the time, it don't do what you're trying to do for a podcast as an engineer, as a producer, but I just pushed it. I got influence, you bought it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
now you just wasted your money. You know what I mean? So I don't want people to like go out and waste their money. So I feel like, I'm a little more selective with certain things.
Okay.
If it's major, Bring it.
I need that.
Do you fear that when you get bigger in this industry that that moral line it might be
yeah. I feel it
have to
sometimes.
cross it a
Like
little
I'm not
bit.
even gonna lie. Like sometimes like I could feel myself where it's like you gotta like. I feel like anybody in any field though. It's like sometimes you gotta humble yourself. Like as a manager, as a supervisor, it's like I got this title for a reason. You know what I mean? But then it's like damn,
right.
like damn, like so yeah. Of course, like I've definitely had moments where I was like. It's like I had a shoot, for instance. It was like a random brand. Like I met him through Fashion Week. He's like, hey, come shoot for my brand. He was unprofessional. So I was like, I got there. I'm like, listen, at this point, bro, I'm the talent. Give me the shirt and let's go. Like he's like, oh, I'm just waiting for my photographer. I'm like, cool. I got in my car. I was like, bro, never again.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm gonna show you that it's different. Like beginner models is like they'll stand here and wait for your photographer, wait for you to set up. It should have been, you know what I mean? Like when I got here, your photographer should have been waiting for me.
So
Because you needed me to promote your brand. Like I didn't need, you know what I mean? So it's like, but that's where you got to humble yourself. Because sometimes it's like, bro, you didn't have to do all that. You could have just sat there, waited for the photographer, shot the brand, and went on with your day. I just felt like, I've done 8 shows. So it's like, at this point, what am I waiting for?
Yeah.
So that's funny you say that because one of my questions was like, is there anybody in the industry that you could think of that you wouldn't work with again?
Oh,
I'm sure you got a couple of mine.
damn,
but
I don't even know if I should say these people's names.
I mean, you ain't gotta name them. You could.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You could just go around it a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I'm talking like someone that probably people like idolize this woman. Like,
Or you could talk about if you could give us like the experience. What happened that
It was just like a very belittling. I feel like it was like a belittling experience. So it was like we was basically all called to come do a production with this specific someone. We're talking mainstream, like so we all came, we were all excited, like we're all fans of her, and then it was kind of like, oh, hi, like this is your little group. You know how like when people start talking to you like that, it's like, oh, this is your little group, and oh, you guys are YouTubers. Yeah, it was like very condescending and like belittling, but it's like, yo, you brought us over here to do what? To bash us? And it's like, wow, before this, I might have listened to your music. Now,
music.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure it out over here.
He's like, gotta put 2 and 2 together. But
We're gonna talk about it off air.
Yeah, she was definitely more like, and her music is just so angelic, and then you just meet her, and it's like
angelic.
He said those key words like the Masked Singer. He's like, you're
You're angelic.
Trying to guess it right now.
I put it together, but no, yeah.
So is there's a lot of companies you would never work with again, or just a few maybe that you probably
I would say definitely like a few.
just a few.
Yeah.
Got you. Nah, that's good.
Definitely, yeah. About to start going in like this one,
Yeah,
but it's like,
Yeah, we don't want you to burn no bridges. That's the case.
I know. I might
in
have
case
to-
it circles back around and they treat you better next time. You never know.
Nah, they definitely not off me.
Yeah, because we've had those experiences ourselves. So it's like,
Oh wait, you like talk about it, and it's like,
yeah, there's people that we probably wouldn't work with right now.
Yeah.
Through this whole thing. So, but yeah, man.
So I'm pretty sure you work in like groups and stuff. Do you prefer like working like with a group, or do you like want to do it like yourself, like solo?
It's crazy because I'm like the most extroverted introvert. So like, but I feel like for me, when it comes to this, I prefer a group. Because more creative minds, like you could execute a bigger, like, you know what I mean? Like they always say 2 heads are better than 1.
Yeah.
And I mean,
you feed off each other's energy too.
Because
right?
like when you're shooting alone, it's like, okay, you do your 7 poses because as a model, you have your signature 7 poses. Whereas you got 7 other ones. Let me use 4 of yours, you use 4 of mine.
Dope, yeah.
You got 2 other landscapes. Like when you came in, it was kind of like, let's go over here. When he came in, it was like, yo, I like this one over here. You know what I mean? Like it was 3 different, but we all executed one idea.
Yeah.
Where it was like, it all worked out. You know what I mean? So I feel like with different people, it's kind of like, it's more creative minds, so it's easier to execute something.
Got you. And like when it comes to the whole modeling thing, how do you keep your look? Like what do you your physique, your look?
Oh, listen.
Like how do you go about keeping that?
That's like the part of modeling that I just started tapping into.
Yeah.
So like it's crazy that you asked that. Like I feel like before, again, coming in, it's like, yo, you take a couple pictures, you do a couple brand deals, you're a model. Now it's like you gotta pay attention to your physical appearance, your acne, like your everything. Everything is like, it matters because when they book you, they're booking you based off of that photo.
Yeah.
If your eyebrows look good, that's what we want. Don't come in with your bushy eyebrows, because you know what I mean. So it's like what they book you as is what they want. So like just like if I was to dye my hair now, you got to update everything. I gotta update my comp card. I gotta update everything. Like I gotta post 3 photos right after I dye my hair, just so that agencies and things that want to book me know what they're booking.
Right.
You know, like right now, like I'm in the phase where like I did a fade, but now I'm like mid fade, mid blowout. So that was like, if I do get booked for something, I would have to send them an updated photo. Yeah. Because my Instagram has 2 different hairstyles.
Gotcha.
So when they're booking me off of the main hairstyle that I had, but it's like, bro, I got a fade now. Like they're like, totally well, the fade ain't working. We'll book somebody else. You know what I mean?
Got you. And so it's like with is it just about the look? Like modeling, I know it's not. There's other things to it. Can you speak on like all avenues of, it's like, you know, what you or you could actually just walk us through a day of you on a model?
Oh, I feel like okay, we could do that one.
I
feel like the attributes like for modeling is like personality, you know, like style. Like you're born. I feel like you could buy style. You know what I mean? Like you're born fashionably. Like you could see something and be like, damn, I could put that together. Right. Style you could buy. You know, go to Mugler and buy the whole piece. That's style. That's what's trending. Fashion is more like in you. Like you wake up and it's like, yo, these pieces together, it look good because I said it looked good. That's the difference. So I feel like it's personality. It's like your style. It's like your physical looks, obviously. And it's what you bring to the table. I feel like a lot of models and a lot of people in the entertainment field are extroverted. I mean, like introverted. Like they're all shy. They got anxiety. And those are your biggest stars I'm talking about. Like I'm talking like your Denzels and things like that. Like you talk to them, it's kind of like, damn. Like we're still talking. Like, yeah, they get like weird. And it's like, bro, you just did a whole monologue for 1 million people. But when you're in your craft, you could do it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and you said a day in the life?
Yeah, like, you know, let's say you had your shoot that's coming up.
All right, so like, let's say I got to shoot
you wake
tomorrow.
Up in the morning.
So as soon as I wake up, it's like, all right, skincare routine. I got the, you know, the Vino, do a little skin brush. I got the do-rag on because, you know, my hair get puffy. You know, I'm in my phone all day. Like I'm trying to coordinate everything, make sure everybody's meeting at the same spot. Because again, it's a commute. So I'm coming from PA to New York, but my photographer's already in New York. So he's waiting at the spot. He's set up. So I'm like getting there. I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to style myself. Like if it's a branded shoot, 9 times out of 10, I wake up, I do my regular like skincare routine, brush my hair, brush my teeth, and then head out the door. Get there, and then I just change. We're just changing. If it's in the city, we're changing in the middle of the street, changing in my car, changing somewhere. But if it's more like I'm styling myself, I think it takes me like 5 days. It's like, damn, does this outfit really look good? Because when you style yourself, it's like, well, you can't put styled by. It's like they critique you. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like something like this. It was like, I was like, bro, make me a sweater. Made the sweater. I was like, all right, I got some hot waters. Put it on. You know what I mean? Like anybody else, I feel like would have put this on with like something else. Like I kind of just like.
So is that something, you know, with you knowing how to model yourself, you know, is that something you want to go to school for? Is that something you're into? Would you ever like expand to become like a stylist for somebody else? Like
the crazy thing is, bro, every time I'm at an event, any event, model event, like, they're like, oh, are you a stylist? I'm like a designer. I'm like, what do I look like? Like,
why do they mistake you like for
every time? Because I feel like I dress so like I would say eccentric, but like I just dress like if I made all the pieces. Because half the time when I go to events, they're styled by someone.
Gotcha.
So like when you look at it, it's like, oh, you styled that yourself. It's like, nah, I couldn't just be a model with somebody else's clothes. Right, yeah. But every event, like they're like, oh, you're a stylist, designer. I'm like, everything but like a rapper, a singer, like let's just go down the list. Like, but I feel like a lot of people don't think modeling is like a job. I mean, it is, but if you think about it, everything branded and all your advertisement, that is a model on those brands. Like everything is an advertisement. Yeah, those are all models. Those voiceovers, those are models. Yep. Like it's all a model. A model is just like a, you know, something that you like a role model, like, but in the sense of a model, it's just something that you like. I don't even know how to explain it, bro.
Like, what's your favorite fashion trend like currently? Like, what are you like throwing on right now?
I think I was into like when Kanye West was into like the oversized. I mean, I feel like his fashion style was over. Bro, these words are just flying on my mouth. What's that word?
What word? I'm trying.
Where it's like,
I don't know. I'm trying to understand.
Well, you like overhype it. It's like
When you overhype something?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Damn, bro. But yeah, I feel like his style was just like too hyped.
Okay.
Where it was like it was just basic, but it was cool though.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that was more like my thing, where it was like oversized, just throw it on and go.
Oversized like hoodie.
Yeah, just throw it on. It's kind of like just go. Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like they call it a model off duty look, because if you see like Bella Hadid's and like the Kendall. Half the time it's like an oversized sweater, something like that, and then they just go.
Yeah.
Because you feel like you look good all the other times. I ain't got looking now.
Word. And oh, go ahead, bro.
I was gonna say, besides, I mean, I know you said the photo shoot with the boxers, but was there anything like you can think of that you threw on that you like absolutely hated wearing?
Oh, I'm not gonna say the name, but yeah, like Fashion Week, I would say this year.
Yeah, whatever you wore there.
Yeah,
all right.
I put it on. And I was like, yeah.
Is that on your IG?
That's a good question.
It is.
Have you was that one of those? Have you dressed in any of the crazy when we see Fashion Week, we see people
Peacocks
most of the time people dressed up in like as a sandwich or something crazy. You know what I'm saying?
That's because like that'd be the trend. So like every Fashion Week, every Met Gala has like a trend around it.
Yeah.
So like this year's Lagerfeld for like the Met Gala. Okay. So Lagerfeld's like more like a subtle suit tie. So you'll see more like when you see like the fashion styles coming around Met Gala time.
Yeah.
It's more like formal. You know what I mean? And then the ones that are styled by different brands, because the Met Gala is just a museum for fashion.
Gotcha.
It's legit.
Have you been to one?
I haven't, but I've been invited. But it's more like the side panel.
Oh, okay.
So it's like you could pick up dresses for like celebrities. It's like different. Because it's all in like a casting thing. Like they have castings for things like this. Like, hey, you want to pick up Bella Hadid's dress? Like, cool. Like, cool. I'll hold her dress. You want to be cool? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's I don't know. It's weird.
So when you talk about the group, like with that's like your model agency group. Like, is there like a bunch of you guys, like all the models?
Yeah,
and then they just
have,
shoot you guys off.
One with like the modeling agency. Like we have a group for castings. Then I have like a bunch of groups that you find like through peers. They're like, yo, I got this event group. They send you that, and then like, hey, there's a premiere here. Like yesterday was the premiere for Scream.
Okay.
In the group chat, it's like, hey, there's a premiere for Scream. Me,
Well, that's in New York though, right?
Yeah, I didn't check the group chat, so I was like, I might have to put these push notifications on.
Right.
But yeah. So like, it's a bunch of it's a bunch of people just trying to network.
Gotcha.
Like just trying to like, hey, come with me here, come with me here. Hey, let's shoot, let's do this. It's like, bet.
Gotcha.
You don't check the group chat, you miss them opportunities. You know?
Yeah.
And I want to circle back real quick, but when he asked you about your favorite trend right now, we see that a lot of people do the baggy pants with the Air Forces or the dirty shoes.
Yeah, that's like
what's up with that? We gotta ask the role model, like, what's going on?
That's
because
more of like
it confuses me, man.
Like what you said, it's more of like a trendy. It's a trendy thing. The Air Forces is just a trendy sneaker.
Or they got a dunk, or they got baggy pants and dunks on.
Yeah, the dunk Air Forces are just a trendy sneaker. So when you think of like a model or influencer, you think of Air Forces. You think of gray background. You think of like a solid, like it's more minimalistic. Like I feel like influencers and everybody does the same. Like if you look at someone's aesthetic, it's either a dark monotone, it's a warm tone, or it's like a bright.
Yeah.
And it's like aesthetically pleasing like this. Half the time they don't live that life. It's just they go there, they take a picture, and it's like, yo, let's put this on our, which is great. You know, it's entertainment. Like if this is what you do for fun, do it. But like the ones that like do it and it's like, it's like, bro, you're not making, like you invest all this money. It's like you can make money. And I try to tell them, I'm like, hey, listen, you take great photos. How many have you been paid for? Because I don't take any photo that I'm not getting paid for. Like I'll take 1 million photos, but everyone on my Instagram I've been paid some type of money for. If it was for the event or it's for the photo. Either way, I'm not posting anything just to post it.
Right.
Because at that point, I'm playing, this is a sport. Go outside and play sport.
Heard it.
Like,
That's good shit.
I feel like a fashion, like, don't you agree? Like, well, like, I feel like fashion is like fashion always does a 360, right? Because like even like right now, I feel like the trend is kind of like the baggy vintage tees,
which
right?
Before in the 90s was like, yo, who's wearing baggy clothes? It's
exactly.
like, what you mean who's wearing baggy? Everybody and their mom today.
Exactly. You got everybody now going to the thrift stores,
Coogee sweaters. I'm
all
like,
that
Coogee.
stuff.
I asked my dad, I'm like, what is this? He's like, oh, this is Coogee. like patchwork. A lot of things are coming back, and like our parents are like, oh, I've seen that. It's like, no, you didn't. But then you really think about it, and they show you a picture. It's like, wow.
I wore this.
Yeah. Even the Jordans, they recycle the deck stock Jordans. They come back, and it's like, oh, they add a little green here, and it's like, yo, these are new. It's like, bro, I've had those.
Yeah.
Like 3 times I've had them. But it's different generations. Like different generations see different things. So it's like, it's new to them. It's old to us. Like they watch the Rugrats. It's like, oh, this is a new show. It's like, bro,
mad late.
Yeah. The Rugrats, man.
Yeah.
So what's your what's like the ultimate goal with the modeling career?
I think to be you know who Alton is? Nah, y'all probably don't know. Just to be on every campaign, every ad you see, you see Gio.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like just You see Nike, you see everywhere. I'm just everywhere. I mean, and obviously, you know, financial stability, things of that nature, like the fun stuff, like the boring stuff that everybody else like that you think. But I'm just saying, like, just to be, because the fame for me is not really like it's there, but it's like just the freedom that comes with it and the financials that come with it. Because to be able to just enjoy life, like I be enjoying life, like I got money like that. Because half the time when you go to events, it's all free. So you just living your best life, and then you go home and it's like, damn, I think I got to pay this mortgage. It's like, and this car payment coming out tomorrow. It's like, damn, do I got enough for this? Then it's like Hannah Montana, bro. Prime, it's like the best example.
Yeah,
you live two different lives. Like you go outside and you rubbing elbows with all these big names. You go back home and it's like
back to reality, right?
It's like, damn, I got to walk the dog.
Yeah.
Word. And I saw you actually before I asked that what do you want to branch out onto other things with this modeling?
Yeah. So I just started sketching. I can't draw, bro. So I didn't know if y'all was gonna be like, oh, cool, like I can't draw for shit. So I just started like getting, you know, like different patches together, trying to like draw. Like I also sing. Again, I'm not doing it. I'm doing it.
If you want to give my little,
time about to head out. But yeah, like I be singing, so I'm trying to like just find, because like my agent says it all the time. She's like, so what next? I'm like, cool. Like let me just live in my. Yeah. But she's like, what next? She's like, dye your hair, pierce your nose, get a tattoo, sing, do this. Like she's like.
Do you have any tats? No tats?
Oh yeah, I got 17 tats. My whole arm is like full of. Yeah.
Got you. I got.
But I try to get it, coming out of school. It's like, don't get no tats on your face. And now it's like, bro, just tap me across in the middle of my forehead. No. But yeah. I feel like it's like I'm trying to like go into different lanes. But again, out here it's hard. Like, I mean, I don't want to say it's hard. Like you could make it anywhere, but I feel like it's just hard to find. Like, hey, I'll hit you up and be like, hey, let's do this. It's like, cool. It's like, bro, I was serious. Like, I don't know how serious you was, but when I hit you up, like that was as serious as it was. Whereas in New York, it's like you walk down the street, it's like you hit this one up, and he got 7 people with him. This one's trying to shoot, this one's trying to create, this one's trying to make a TikTok, this one's trying to do this. It's like, let's do it all. Yeah. Out here, it's like, bro, that shit ain't fun. Like, bro, everybody talking to you, like, bro, what do you do for real? It's like, bro, I just told you. Yeah. I get paid for this. Yeah. You post on Instagram for free, and I get paid for this. Yes. Like, it's like.
So I seen you. I saw you were in a cameo. Can you speak on that?
For HBO. Yeah. So I did 2 cameos. I did the Succession. I was on set for like a month, and then I did HBO Gossip Girl 2.0. So I was on set for another month. It was probably the best non-speaking role I've ever did. Like you got paid the COVID test. You got paid to be on set for 12 hours. After you reach 12 hours, you got paid overtime. Like I was just receiving checks just to say I was receiving checks. And then you got to see yourself on HBO. So I was like, listen, for me, everybody's like, oh, become an actor. I'm like, nah. Like, nah, this extra work is pretty cool. Like,
do you think you become an actor if you wanted to?
Nah, I feel really like
Nah.
I feel like I could be funny.
Yeah.
But then it's like, you give me a script trying to be funny, it's like, bro, it's just cheesy.
Yeah.
It's on my list too.
Succession? Yeah. And then Gossip Girl, episode 3 and 4. Okay. I did my little cameo. You just see my little,
Yeah, I peeped that. I'm
gonna tell people like I know
checking the show.
Yeah, I got my little cameo, my little IMBD credits.
Oh, you get the credits for that too?
Yeah, of course. Any SAG, like when I produced for Gabby for her YouTube, you get like SAG credits for that.
Nice.
Yeah, so it helps.
So I know you just said like some of the things that you possibly want to get into like years to come. But what are some of your probably like more of your like bigger goals like this year that you want to accomplish?
So this year I actually have like in production for Fashion Week this year. I'm trying to work with so I shot this year in a art gallery. I don't know if you guys seen.
Yeah, I saw it.
I just met them like this year.
Okay.
And I was in talks with him. I'm like, hey, look, you got a crazy art gallery, and I've done a presentation style for Fashion Week the following year. So I was like, all right, let me just put this together. I'm like, you got an art gallery, I've done presentation style, I've never done that before. So I was like, yo, let's put together a Fashion Week event in your art gallery. He's like, bro, just tell me the date and when. I said, bet, we could get you on the Fashion Week calendar. So it's a win-win. It's like, I'm producing it, I get to pick the models, all the accolades go to, the art gallery and myself, and every model that's participating in it. But it's like my production, like it's like, I actually get to see the vision. So it's like, it's a different ball game. Yeah, so I actually, we like in the works now. We're trying to find like videographers, photographers, everybody who's like, because I mean it's gonna be featured. It's gonna be pretty cool. Like I've never done nothing like this.
So is that something that you're gonna try and continue doing? Like this is the first of many to come?
Yeah, I feel like it'll be the first of, because I feel like as a model, again, it's like, yeah, I model. It's like, cool.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, but
It's like, do you model your own clothes? Are you
Yeah.
building clothes? It's like, no, I just model his clothes, and now, so it's like eventually you gotta like, I make my own clothes. Now I do production because I could produce, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like different things within that lane.
Got you. So are most of the shoots that you've done, are they like one-offs, or is it like, do you returning brands? Like,
So I was in a contract with VIM. I don't know if you guys ever. VIM's like a New York brand. It's like a Jimmy Jazz, Snipes, DTRL. Yeah. So I was in a contract with them for like a good year, 2 years. So I would just shoot with them every week. I get paid for 3 hours. They pay you, I don't know.
was it one of those that you did inside their store?
Yeah. So you would do it like they have a studio behind.
I know Villa and Reading used to do that.
Yeah, they have a studio like
that.
upstairs. Like you shoot, they put it on. I was like on the billboard in Times Square. I was on the billboard in Brooklyn for like VIM. So yeah, I've worked with brands like that, like Snipes. I've done like one campaign with Fabio Foreign, and then it was like Okay. That is kind of like, but again, that was behind the scenes. You see like 2 seconds of my face, but they paid it, so I was like, you know what? I got to talk to Fabio. I got paid. It was like, you know what, cool.
So do you prefer the you know, the one-off shoots, or do you prefer
Sometimes,
like the?
Because when it's a one-off, they pay you like they'll pay you bigger. Whereas if it's like something like more consecutive, it's kind of like, all right, we'll pay you this now, and then we'll pay you this, then we'll pay you that. When it's one, it's kind of like, hey, we'll just give you this, and we'll contact you in a year or so. It's like, cool, listen, call me or not. There's a million brands in this world. I don't want to sound like, but I'm saying like, you just kind of like, you got to keep going.
Yep.
Okay.
You just got to keep going.
And what's like what do you have coming up now? Like you say you have a shoot this week.
Yeah, so I have
what is it for? And
it's for a magazine. Well, right now I'm in the process of like getting it together, but it's for a magazine shoot for New York Magazine.
Okay.
So it's one of the designers that I've worked with again. Last year, I reached out and I was like, hey, listen, I got the photographer, he got the magazine, you got the clothes, I'm the model. Let's put it all together.
Yeah.
So it kind of works. So that everybody agreed. So now we're just in production for that. I have an event, like it's an influencer event. It's like at a bowling alley. A bunch of like little networking events. For me, I feel like it's just like to keep building.
this is all things you do in New York, or you do
everything is in New York.
Local?
I don't think I've done anything entertainment wise. This is probably the most entertainment wise I've done here, besides shoot for like Casey, like Desire Attire.
And how did you actually link up with Casey to do her?
Casey, I went to high school with her, so it's crazy. Like she was one of those kids in school. It was like, oh shit, Casey. It's like, you know, one of those cool kids, you know. So it's like coming from New York. It's like you only wanted to be with the cool kids.
Yeah.
So you like try to find those lanes, but then you never end up in them lanes. But it's like, all right. So I like humbled myself. I was just doing my thing, and then it was like after school was kind of like, oh shit, you got a clothing brand. But again, I was just a regular. So I'm like, oh, your clothing brand's cool. As I kept building, I kept reaching out in different ways.
Gio, we appreciate you coming through for the podcast. Thanks for pulling up. If you want to give the people your Instagram and your email and any way they could contact you.
But my Instagram is official page of .g. Make sure you add the .g. My email is Giovanni Rojas, GIOVANNI, Rojas, ROJAS, booking, y'all know how to spell that, at gmail.com.
All right, bet. Y'all make sure y'all tap in with them. Like I said before, anybody that's a photographer, anybody that has a clothing brand, anything like that, make sure you tap in with them. You know what I mean? This is up and coming. You already know this is why we do the Have You Heard. It's a local up and coming. So, I mean, show your support for anybody that's locally doing anything. Or even like any of the magazines, local magazines.
Oh, yeah, like Lehigh Valley.
Like Fig, Lehigh Valley, shout out to both of them. I've actually modeled on their shit, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, hold on.
I mean, I don't model. Yeah.
Tune in.
It just look good. It just look good. I ain't no model, but
man, listen.
But yeah, so anybody out here doing any creative work,
tune into Brush Boys.
Yeah, tune into us, tap in with us, and make sure you tap in with him if you need somebody to, you know, be the face of your brand or something like that. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for rocking with us for episode 5 of our Have You Heard edition of our podcast. We're just trying to bring people up because, you know, we coming up ourselves. So with that being said,
Bottomless mimosas.
Yes, sir. You already know it. We out of here.